بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum everyone.
وعليكم السلام.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
MashaAllah. Okay, now today we have a little as usual. We're going to first start to try to read it. Let's see if we have any volunteers who can actually read the calligraphy. It's one section of an ayah. It's not the whole ayah. It's one part of the ayah from the Quran. Let's see. Do we have any volunteers? Anybody? Last week we didn't have Sister Farzana with us, so welcome back, Sister Farzana. And
Yeah. I have some guests just at the time of the lesson, and so I missed it.
No problem. Alhamdulillah, you are here now. But actually, Brother Sultan is not here today, unfortunately. So he will be back with us next week.
Yeah.
So you're
I can just see what's there.
Okay, well, that's correct. That's correct. Yeah, that's the beginning, inshallah.
Marik. No, but it's,
the word sabr is written twice.
Wasbir, asbir. I can also see la, billah.
Okay, that's pretty close. That's pretty close. Right, so wasbir wa ma sabruka illa billah. Wa ma sabru illa billah. In fact, this is just a portion of the whole ayah, as I told you. It's the beginning of chapter 16 of the Quran, ayah number 127, the beginning of the ayah, not of the chapter. So the first part of the ayah says, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, wasbir wa ma sabruka illa billah. So that says in English, and be patient, talking to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and your patience is not but through Allah. Wasbir wa ma sabruka illa billah. And the ayah continues, and it says, وَلَا تَحْزَنْ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا تَكُنْ فِي ضَيْقٍ مِّمَّا يَمْكُرُونَ. And do not grieve over them, and do not be in distress over what they conspire. All right, so this was the ayah from today, inshallah. I don't know how many people we have today, but I think we have about 13 participants from what I can see. Right. We want to ask our sister. Sister is still here or not? Brother Yusuf actually couldn't make it today. He told me that our dear sister Fatima was going to be helping us. So thank you, Sister Fatima, for helping today, inshallah. All right, so let's see what's today's program for now. Well, as you can see on the slide, we are going to actually finish talking about Ahkam al-Madd. Today we will finish it up. Well, that's finally, finally we're going to put an end to this long, complex web of Madd. However, sometime in the future, inshallah, I'm going to still talk about other minor examples of Madd. There are still few rules of Madd, but they are not part of these essential rules of Madd that we've been looking at throughout the last few weeks. So today we'll finish, inshallah. Just to kind of look at the chart again, we've come a long way, and last week we have initiated the last little rectangle, which is on the left of Madd Lazim, the compulsory Madd, necessary Madd. And this one, as I told you, is divided in two. Last week, we've talked about Madd Lazim Kalimi. If you actually look at your screen, it's this part. And we said that Kalimi comes from the word Kalima, which means word. And this Madd occurs in words. Today, we're going to talk about Madd Lazim Harfi. And this appears not only in words, but in letters. So it means it's smaller, even a smaller unit of mad. So this is actually happening at a smaller scale in letters, not in words, not in whole words. So I think you can probably guess where we are getting when I say in letters, because there are only a certain number of letters in the Quran that are lengthened. And these actually are at the beginning of the surah. So harfi is harf. All right, so just recap, which is the previous one. There are two types in the two subtypes from al-lazim. Al-lazim is compulsory. Lazim means compulsory. So last week we have seen al-mad al-lazim al-kalimi, both al-muthaqqal, heavy, and al-mukhaffaf, light. All right. And we said that al-mukhaffaf, the light one, is at Yunus, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks to Fir'aun when he's drowning. Fir'aun is drowning. And then he's saying, oh, now I believe in the God of Musa. So he doesn't even name Allah by his name. He doesn't say, I believe in Allah now. So when Fir'aun is cornered, he has no other choice. He's going to die. He says, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, now, and used to transgress, now it's too late. So that is mad lazim kalimi mukhaffaf. And there's only a few examples in the Quran, there are only two examples of it. The other one, the heavy one, however, that happens in a word, al-mad lazim al-kalimi al-muthaqqal, the long compulsory mad that is heavy, happens every time we have a letter alif followed by a letter with a shadda on it. Okay, for example, وَلَضَّالِّينَ. So we have da, alif, with lam and shadda on top of it. So anytime you have an alif followed by another letter coming after with a shadda, that's actually the compulsory lengthening, which is heavy. Okay, and we said 6 harakat. 6 harakat. All right. Now, from last week, from the word unit, from the lengthening that occurs in a word, we're going to go a bit smaller scale today. And we're going to focus not on words, but on just letters. Right? And that is why the name of the mad that we are going to talk about today is called al-mad al-lazim al-harfi. Al-harfi means, harf means letter. Huruf, letters is the. So al-mad al-lazim al-harfi al-muthaqqal, number 3. And al-mad al-lazim al-harfi al-mukhaffaf, number 4. Oh, okay, so let's have a look. Okay, this is just another recap. It's just good to have different recaps. I just had different slides to show you the difference between these. Sorry. So probably the previous slide didn't have translation, so this one has some translations for you. Starting with a general category of mad lazim, and as we said, mad lazim means the compulsory lengthening. It's no less than 6 harakat. Compulsory lengthening is no less than 6 harakat. And we have word on a word and in a letter. As we said, the word in Arabic is translated as harf. Oh no, kalima. Kalima is word and harf is letter. All right. So the red one, as you can see on the left part of your screen, right, is the one we've covered last week. The one on the right is the one we're going to cover this week. Okay. Now, background. I'm going to just get into you what are the letters that have this type of mad. There are 14 letters in the Quran. There are 29 chapters in the Quran that starts with letters. Okay, remember we said these letters are called al-huruf al-muqatta'a. The the, how do we call that in English? The divided letters. مقطع, okay, separated letters. For example, alif, lam, mim. 4 different letters sometimes, right? So in 29 different chapters of the Quran, there are examples of this type of mad that we're going to study today. That is why today's mad is concerned only with letters, but not words, okay? So the number of letters in total is 14. Okay, there are actually 14 letters in the Quran, although there are 29 different chapters that starts with letters. But if you total them up, if you add them up, they are in fact just 14 letters in total. And if you want to remember them, now the good thing about Tajweed, the science of Tajweed, is that every time there is something to remember, there will be a sentence or an expression that will help you to memorize it. So for instance, when we talked about qalqala, we said the best way to remember the letters of qalqala is qutbu jadd. Okay, 5 letters. Qaf, ta, ba, jim, da, qutbu jadd. That's just a nice way to remember them. It's a memory technique or mnemonic way to remember. In the same way, today's example for mad concerning letters, there's an expression that can help us remember it. نص حكيم قاطع له سر. نص حكيم قاطع له سر. If you count the letters, you will find 14 letters. And these are all the letters that can be found at the beginning of different chapters of the Quran. Like I said to you, in Surah Al-Baqarah, we have Alif Lam. Okay, so those are just 3 letters, but there's another 11 letters to total 14. So Nas Hakim Qati' lahu sir. What is the meaning of this? They say this means a text, a wise text that is a criterion to separate truth from evil, from truth from falsehood, and that has a sir. Sir means has a certain it's special, or it has something secretive about it, or something unique to it, right? Nassun Hakim Qati'un lahu sir. Right. You don't have to worry too much about this, but if you actually are not really keen on memorizing the letters, the best way to remember is to see that they occur at certain chapters, at the beginning of certain chapters. It's very easy to think of examples like Yasin. That is a different, that is actually one of the chapters that we remember very easily, like Taha, Yasin. So you don't necessarily have to remember this formula, but this is just there for you if you want to memorize it. All right.
Yes,
now these
sorry,
14 letters.
Can you say it again? It's Nassun. Nassun. Is it Nassun? Is it that Shadda on Swat?
I'm sorry, what did you say, sister?
That is that Shadda on Swat after
no, it's not Shadda, it's Tanween. That is Nassun Hakimun Qati'un lahu sir. All of those little dark things you see, they are not Shadda, they are Tanween of Dhamma, Dhammatain. But it's just the print that is not very clear. I took this one is from, at that time, probably the book print is small. That's why it's not very clear here. When I zoom it, it's not very clear.
Okay,
so, Nassun Hakimun Qati'un lahu sir.
Nassun Hakimun Qati'un lahu sir.
And you don't really need to add the tanween, sister, because we are interested in the letters, actually, not in the in what happens at the top or bottom of the letters. Okay, Nas Hakim Qati' lahu sir. That's just fine. Okay, so these 14 letters of al-mad al-lazim al-harfi, they generally occur in 4 different groups, because we will see that not all of them, in fact, will be lengthened to 6 harakat. Okay, so let's have a look at these groups. we have the first group. There is only one letter in this first group. And that is, this letter doesn't have mad. So this letter is not lengthened at all. Okay, so for example, if we look at the first example, you know, going from the beginning of the Quran till the end, chapter 2 of the Quran, after Al-Fatiha is Surah Al-Baqarah. And in Surah Al-Baqarah, Bismillahir-Rahim, Alif Lam Mim, the Alif is not lengthened, right? It doesn't have any mad. Nobody says Alif, right? That doesn't work. So this is one of out of 13 letters that doesn't have a mad at all. Okay, so the Alif is not lengthened. You just read Alif, Alif, that's it. Don't lengthen the Alif. Okay, so that's category number 1, type A, letters without mad, one example only. So we have the second type, type B, and this mad is a natural mad tabi'i or mad asli, and it has 2 harakat, 2 counts of lengthening. And in this category, we have 5 letters, right? Usually it's easy to remember because most frequently you will find these in 2-letter combinations. For example, Yasin, Taha, right? So in 2-letter combinations, but sometimes it can be in the middle. So this is mad tabi'i. This is mad tabi'i. So natural mad, only 2 harakat, right? So the letters are 5 and they are the following. We have the letter Ha, the letter Ya, the letter Ta, and the letter Ha, and the letter Ra. So the reason why I write them here with Alif is just to show you that when you read them, you don't simply read Ha, but you read Ha, Mi, Ha, right? Ha, it's 2 harakat. It's 2 harakat. It's not like Alif without mad. It must have 2 harakat at least. All right. Now I can give you another way to remember them. Some people say the best way is to put them in a group called Hay Tahir, but it's not really important, to be honest. All right, and then we come to the last letters that actually are the focus of our lesson today, and these are with mad lazim. Okay, so focus here carefully. These are the letters with mad lazim. So here we have to apply 6 counts. And in this category, we have a larger number of letters. We have 7 letters in total. 7 letters in total. Okay. Now, what are the letters? We have Noon, Sad. Well, actually, there's 2 chapters of the Quran. There are 2 chapters of the Quran that start. Each of these chapters starts with letter Noon or Sad. There is a chapter called Sad, okay, and another chapter called Noon, right? So these are 6 harakat, and this is mad lazim, harfi, on the letter. Then we have 5 more. We have Kaf, Surah Maryam, Kaf, Ha, Ya, Ain, Sad. Okay. Then we have Mim, okay, and then Qaf, and Sin. So if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. Now 7 of these we must have mad lazim. 6 harakat count. Right. So take a breath and do the 6 harakat count. All right. Now this is the focus of today's lesson. It's an easy lesson, inshallah. Don't worry. All right, let's continue, and I'm going to explain a bit more. Before I continue, if you want to remember them in a sentence or in a formula, you can remember the formula. سَنَقُصُّ لَكُمْ. We will tell you the story. Al-Qasas, سنقص لكم. We will tell you a story, or we tell you the story. You know, many tajweed from childhood. The good thing when you are a child, you really love to remember these formulas. So many masters and teachers of tajweed, they teach the kids these formulas so that it's easy for them from childhood, from like 3, 4, 5 years old until they are old, until they reach 80, 90, they will remember their lessons when they were kids. Oh, قطب الجد سنقص لكم. So it stays in the mind. So there's a lot of formulas like that to remember quickly the letters we are targeting. So in this case, in the 7 letters that are mad lazim harfi, there is this simple way to remember them. سنقص لكم. Okay. So you are free. Again, I never force you to remember them, but if you want to remember them, this is the way. Okay. So coming to these letters, the 7 letters, سنقص لكم. And here we are going to talk about today's objective. This is where we're going to apply the 6 units or the 6 lengthening, degree of mad lazim harfi. We start with mukhaffaf on the right. On the right, side of your screen, you see mukhaffaf, and on the left side of your screen, you will see muthaqqal. Let me just point that out again with my pen here. Oh, this means heavy. This means heavy, sorry. Thaqil, muthaqqal, and this means light. All right. So it means basically that within these 7 letters, some of them will be heavy and others will be lighter. Why? Well, let's have a look. This is the recipe, or how to make it, how to apply this type of mad. All right. I'm going to read it and then I will explain it. The letter of mad, when written out, consists of 3 letters. The middle of the 3 letters is a mad letter. A second letter follows the mad letter, but it is not merged with the letter that comes after it. All right. Just follow me, yeah? Don't worry about comprehension right now. And then when we talk about muthaqqal, the steps are the following. Or in order to identify this letter, this is how you're going to. First of all, the letter when written out consists of 3 letters. The middle of the 3 letters is a mad letter. So it's so far exactly the same as the previous one. But the third point is different. A merged letter follows the mad letter, meaning that the 3rd letter is mudgham with the letter that follows it. Mudgham means merged. Now, I don't want you to panic. Don't worry, I'm going to explain. Because you are seeing, wow, this looks like a recipe here, and I have a hard time following what he is saying, right? Don't worry, I'm going to explain it right now. So let's start the explanation. So al-mad, al-lazim, al-harfi, al-mukhaffaf. Let's start with the light one. And I told you these are the 7 letters we are targeting. So which of these 7 letters are we talking about? We need to take an example first from the Quran. So if we recap the rule that I just stated, it's here, okay? Look at an example from the Quran here. Surah Yunus, ayah number 1. Alif Lam Ra. Okay, let's start and look at the 3 conditions of this type of mad. This is the light version of it. All right. First, number 1 states the letter when written out consists of 3 letters. What letter are we talking about? Well, we're talking about the letter of mad. We're talking about this letter here, this one in the middle, right? Now, if we actually write that letter out, it will become like this, right? You understand? So the letter, when written out completely, it consists of 3 letters: lam, alif, mim. So first condition, we understand it. Do you understand the first condition? Right? You understand it, right? The middle part of the letter, lam, the lengthened letter, if you write it out, if you outspell it completely, it will consist of 3 letters. So first condition, understood. Let's go to the second condition. The middle of the 3 letters, these 3 letters, the middle one, is a mad letter. Okay, the middle of these three letters is a mad letter. So yes, it is a mad letter. So it means that's what we're talking about. It means this we understand now. Now let's go to the third condition of this type of mad. The second letter follows the mad letter, but it is not merged with the letter that comes after it. Now, let's see this. After this alif, we have a meme that usually is second. Right? Second letter follows the mad letter. But it is not merged with the letter that comes after it. What letter we're talking about? We're talking about Ra. Right? So when I read this lam, the meme is, there is an idhar. I'm not merging it with the Ra. So I would read it like this. Alif lam ra. Okay? Alif lam ra. I don't merge the meme of lam to the ra. It's not merged. And that is why we call it al-harfi al-mukhaffaf. That's why we call it the light version of this mad, because there is no merging with the letter ra. When I read alif lam ra, I don't say alif lam ra. There is no possibility actually of merging meme and ra. It's not possible because they happen in two parts of the mouth. Meme is bilabial, and ra is, there is a palate behind the teeth, ra. So you cannot merge a bilabial with a dental sound. So that's why this type of mad, al-mad al-harfi, we call it al-mad al-lazim al-harfi al-mukhaffaf, the light version, because I'm not actually merging the sound or lengthening that sound. Okay, but we need to make it 6 harakat here. This lengthening here is 6 harakat. That's why we call it lazim. Lazim. All right. Now, please keep in mind that this category of mad, even though it's a subcategory, it's still within the mad of sukoon, because you see here, there's harf sakin after the mad. All right. All right. So, so this third condition here is respected, right? Let me just see if I can. All right, this third condition of this rule of med is respected. All right, can I stop here and check, make a comprehension check? See that everybody is following me so far?
Yes.
Everybody is with me?
Yes.
Yes. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so now after having talked about this light version of med, we're going to go to the heavy version, or al-muthaqqal, the compulsory heavy lengthening in letters. Al-mad al-lazim al-harfi al-muthaqqal, the mad, the lengthening that occurs in letters, but now, still, we have to remember those 7 letters we're talking about. They need to have 6 units of length. And we're going to recap the rules again. There are also 3 rules with an example from the Quran. In this example, it's not alif lam ra, but it's alif lam mim. And it's the first ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah. Now let's go step by step as we did earlier. The first rule of this lengthening says the letter, when written out completely in letters, let's take a different color here. Blue, for example. So this letter, the targeted letter of mad, when written out, consists of 3 letters. Lam, we count 1 is lam, second is alif, and third is mim. So 3 letters, right? 3 letters. Good. So it means the first rule, we understand it, it's fine. Good. The middle of the letters is a mad letter. Same as the previous one so far, it's an alif and it's a mad letter. And now the third rule states, a merged letter follows the mad letter. a merged letter follows this letter here. After this meme, we have another meme, and that meme is merged. So meaning that this third letter here, meme, the last meme, is merged with the, this meme here, third letter here, is merged with the following meme. Okay, that's why it's heavier. I'm not creating idhar, I'm not distinguishing the sounds, but I'm actually continuing. I'm saying like this. Sorry. Alif Lam. You see, I've merged the first meme of the lam with the second meme. That's why we call it heavy. And both lam and meme have 6 harakat. All right. The ra doesn't have harakat. Alif lam ra doesn't have. The ra is actually simple. It's just simple natural lengthening. But in this example, we say Alif Lam. Right? 6 with the merging between lam and meme. What's we call idgham in Arabic. We've seen idgham in the past. It means it's merging of 2 sounds together. So yes, we got it. This is fine too. This is why we call it heavy sound, the heavy lengthening of mad. Okay. Did we forget something? Did we forget something? Before we talk about forgetting something, is this clear, this second example, or not? Do you understand it?
Yes.
Alhamdulillah, I'm very happy you understand it. All right, so to recap today's mad, we are going to proceed, and don't worry, we're going to continue, but just want to recap. Today's mad, compared to last week's mad, is actually targeting not words, but letters. And we said we have 2 types of long mad. We have one type called al-mad al-lazim al-harfi al-mukhaffaf, the light one, where the mad letter lam doesn't merge with the following sound ra. And al-mad al-lazim al-harfi al-muthaqqal, the heavy one, where there is a merging between lam and meme, creating a heavier or longer sound. All right. So did we forget something? How many letters in total did I tell you are there in the huruf al-muqatta'a in Arabic or in the Quran? Huh? Who can remind me how many letters I said are there in the 29 chapters of the Quran? When I started today, I said that
14.
in the Quran, that how
14.
many? 14, right? 14. Did we have 14 in total? Let's see. Aha, you were not. How many did we have? We had type A is 1. Type B is 5. That's 6.
2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
12?
13.
12, 14.
Okay, let's go back to mathematics. So we have alif is 1. And then we have 5. Ha, ya, ta, ha, ra. 5 and 1 is 6. And you add the bottom of the screen 7. 13. But we said 14.
13.
How come?
Now 13.
So we are missing 1, right?
Yes. So where is that one?
All right. Yes, we did forget something. Well, there's ayn. Now, why did I actually exclude this from the category of mad lazim? Actually, it is mad lazim, but when you write this sound, when you write it out, this letter ayn, it can be not only 6, but it also sometimes can be 4. Why? Now, try at home. Ayn. Can you write ayn as it sounds? When you write the letter ayn as it sounds to you, we said that the letter lam is lam alif mim, right? Lam. When you write ayn, what are the 3 letters of ayn? Do you understand what I mean?
No.
Okay, so if I let me show you. If I write lam,
Lam.
the letter
Yeah.
lam, right?
Okay.
Do you see on your screens this?
No, we can't see.
No.
Okay, let me then write it here for you. I'll show you. Don't worry, it's very, very simple. It's not complex. If I write this letter lam, right? How do I write it, how it's pronounced?
Pronounce
I
as
just
lam.
did it with you, right? So it's combination plus me, right? Lam. That's how I read it. That's how lam is pronounced, right? Lam.
Right.
Right? You got it right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so how about ayn? If I write it how it's pronounced, how do I write it?
Ayn.
Is it
Ayn. Yeah.
Yes,
And
good.
Noon.
Very good, very good. Very good, sister. So if I write it, it will be ayn, ya, nun. Now, what type of mad that we've seen in the past has a ya or wow?
I said, yeah.
Do you remember Surah Quraysh? Quraysh,
Yeah.
right? Quraysh.
Mad
What type
lean.
of mad?
That
Exactly.
is sabab asukun.
Is madleen, madleen.
Madleen.
Quraysh, as-sayf. Okay. So in this case, sorry, madleen is what we are having with ayn. Ayn can be written like this. So when you pronounce it, it's the same as madleen. That's why in this case it can be either 6 or 4. You can make it shorter than that. So this is an exception, in fact. This is an exception to the whole of the 7 letters. Okay. Ayn, kaf, ha, ya, ayn, sad. Right? Sometimes ayn will be shorter than the rest of the letters. So this is just for you to remember, inshallah. This is madleen, madleen. So here we have the possibility just for this letter only to make it 4. But don't worry, if you keep it at 6, that's also fine. I just want to make you aware of this. And also I want you to remember the previous med we've covered in the last weeks, which is madleen, which only happens in a few chapters. For example, Surah Quraysh. And I think we had another example. I'm trying to remember which one. It will come back, inshallah, no problem. Okay, so summary of today's lesson. Al-huruf al-muqatta'a, the disjointed letters of the Quran, happen in the beginning of different chapters. We said that there are 29, I think, 29 chapters of the Quran, where these letters will be immediately after al-basmala. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alif Lam Ra. Okay, these are the disjointed letters, huruf muqatta'a, and these are responsible for what we call madleen, but not all of them, because in the category of 14 total letters, we have one letter that doesn't have mad, that is the letter on the left part of your screen, which is alif. Doesn't have mad at all. Alif, okay, there's no mad, 0. And then we have a few letters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of them will have a natural mad, 2 harakat only. And these are the letters ha, ya, ta, ha, ra, hay, tahur. This is the formula by which you can remember them. Hay, tahur. And then we have the 7 letters of al-mad, al-lazim, al-harfi. المد اللازم الحرفي. حرفي means letter. سنقص لكم, this is the way to remember them. سنقص لكم. Now, in this category, we have the light, مخفف, and the heavy. And if you have no merging of sounds, alif, lam, ra, this is light version. Alif, Lam, Mim. This is the heavy version because there is merging between these two sounds. Here there is no merging. Okay, this is as simple as that. And then the one that is actually hanging out there by itself, the letter Ayn, we have option of 4 or 6 vowel counts because this is madleen. Ayn. Ayn. Okay, so you have an option. The summary, so is that slide. Slide 13 is the summary and it's a recap and we'll explain everything to you. Okay. Any questions? This is another slide that explains it, but in fact, this explains also the previous one from last week. As you notice, mad lazim is always 6 harakat, unless it's lengthening time in the Quran is mad lazim. You cannot lengthen a vowel longer than 6 harakat. It doesn't exist. It doesn't happen. So longest thing you can lengthen in the Quran is 6. There's no longer than 6. Don't do that. It will be a mistake. Okay, let's practice a little bit with mad lazim harfi mukhaffaf. So it's written as this, for example, but it's pronounced as this. Okay. So this Surah Maryam, for instance, all the circled parts will be 6 harakat. Okay. So I'll read it for you. Kaf ha ya ayn sad. Okay. 6, 6, 6. Sad is long, Ayn is long, Kaf is long. And the best way to remember is to see there is a lengthening diacritic marker here on top of those Kaf, Ayn, and Sad. So the Quran, in fact, helps us to identify which letters will be the lengthened ones the most. So the six units of lengthening will be obvious from the trace or the mark on top of them. Okay. So in Surah Maryam, chapter 19, if you go to chapter 19 of the Quran and you open your books, your Mus'haf, you will notice, let me just do that. Surah Maryam is just immediately after Surah Al-Kahf. Yeah. I don't know. I want to try to show you, but I'm afraid you cannot see it very clearly. I get it close to the camera. See it?
No, we can't see it. It disappeared.
Unfortunately, yeah. So, but in my Mus'haf, as I told you, try to get yourself a copy of Mus'haf Mujawwad like this with Tajweed. Now, the letter Kaf, the letters Kaf, Ayn, and Sad are in red. And the letters Ha and Ya are not, they are in black. So, in fact, even if they are not in red, if you have just a regular Mus'haf that is not Tajweed Mus'haf, the fact that there is a symbol on them with this long med, trace or diacritic marker, it tells you which sounds will be the longest among these 5 letters. Kaf, Ha, Kaf, Ayn, and Sad. Okay. Can someone read for us the sequence of Kaf, Ha, Ya, Ayn, Sad?
Yes, can I try?
Yes, please.
Kaf, Ha, Ya, Ayn, Swad.
Okay, very good. Just make sure that you don't stop too much between the letters. Don't stop too much between them. Especially in the Ayn and Sad. Ayn and actually merge together. Right? Yeah. So make sure that you don't stop too long. But that's good. That's good, sister. Jazakallah khair. Beautiful. All right, let's see another example. Alif, Lam, Ra. The only one that is 6 harakat is the Lam. Alif is no lengthening. And Ra is, as we said, Ra is actually just 2 harakat. Right? So Alif, Lam, Ra. Ra. Okay, but Lam, you don't merge with Ra like Lam. That's why we call this, as you see at the top of your screen, Mad Lazim Harfi Mukhaffaf, the light version of it. Okay, does someone want to try? Any sister or brothers? Try your best to produce the lam with 6 harakat. Any volunteers? Layla and Jannah, yes. Go ahead, Layla and Jannah. Any one of you.
Which one?
Layla, for example.
Which one?
Or Jannah.
Which one on the screen?
The bottom one. Alif, Lam, Ra.
Okay, Alif, Lam, Ra.
Okay, good. 6 harakat for Lam and 3 and 2 for Ra, right? Very good job. Nicely done. Now let's go to the heavy. Mad lazim harfi muthaqqal. You can see the examples on the right. I'm sorry for this. I don't know why this is cut like this. Is just a print error. Let me try to merge those if I take my black pen. I don't know why it's doing that, but yeah, it looks a bit better. All right, let's do this. So it's written like this in the Mus'haf on the right section of your screen. You will see it written like this on the Mus'haf in the Quran. But when you read it, you read it like this. And the circled parts are the parts where you're observing the lengthening, right? And you are merging from the first lengthening to the second one, you are merging the sounds. And as you can see, are m sounds, right? N, except for mim sad, but still it's a merging sound. Can you try? Anyone? Any brothers here? I tried just make brothers participate. But sisters, if you want also. Asia, yes, Asia. Sister Asia.
Lam mim sad.
Very good, mashallah, mashallah. Good job, sister. Do you want to do the second one too? Keep going.
Yes, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Alif lam mim ra.
Okay, good. Now all of these are practice. Now it doesn't mean that this happened like this in the Quran exactly, right? Any others want to try? The last one? Any? Okay, Mahveen. Go ahead, Mahveen.
Alif Lam.
Very beautiful. Now just make sure Alif is not lengthened. Huh? Don't say Alif. Alif is very short. Alif Lam Mim. Okay, Alif doesn't have lengthening at all. No lengthening. Good job. All right, let's practice a bit more. Here's how it's pronounced, right? Ta is not lengthened, only 2 harakat, but Sin and Mim are lengthened. And there is a merging between Sin, Mim. Okay, 6. Ta, Sin, Mim. Okay, you can try at home yourself. If you want, you can just disable your mic and do it yourself. Try to do it yourself, inshallah. Here's another one. Alif Lam Ra Tilka Ayatul Kitabil Hakim. Okay, just practice at home. Don't worry about me. Just go ahead and practice and do it yourself at your own pace, right? Alif Lam Ra Tilka Ayatul Kitabil Hakim. All right, when you read Alif Lam Ra, don't merge the Mim and Ra, because this is mad lazim harfi mukhaffaf, the light one. So we don't merge mra, mim, ra, idhar between mim and ra. Okay, good. Next. It's different. This one is different. So we have a merging between the lam and the mim, but mim and ra, there is no merging. So you see the letters that have this are the letters that will be made 6 harakat. Anytime in the Quran you see the character like this. This symbol is like a wave. This is where mad lazim will have to be applied. 6 harakat, right? So alif lam mim ra. تلك آيات الكتاب والذي أنزل إليك من ربك الحق ولكن أكثر الناس لا يؤمنون. Okay, so practice yourself, inshallah. Just do it. Just do it, inshallah. Practice yourself. You don't have to worry, but I'll just do it yourself, inshallah. I'll give you a few more seconds. Alif. Alif is never lengthened. Alif is always short. Okay. And of course, later, inshallah, when I send you this slide, you can open it and practice yourself at home. Let's do these. Hamim. Ain Sin Qaf. Okay. كاف يا عين صاد ياسين. Okay, so for Yasin, specifically for Yasin, two harakat, 6. Okay, Yasin, Yasin, 2, 6. All right. So mad lazim cannot be less than 6.
Yes.
Unless ayn. But I told you, you can make it 6 too. So it's just, if you want to be consistent and not worry too much, just make it 6. Right. Let's do the homework first. I just show you what is for next week. For next time, choose any surah which starts with the 7 letters, the 7 that has 6 units of lengthening. And practice reciting the first 10 ayat. The first 10 ayat. Okay, so that's your homework. And remember, these are the 7 letters. سنقص لكم. Okay. Practice reciting, and of course, as usual, send me to my WhatsApp or my Signal number. Inshallah. All right. Now, do you have any questions about today's lesson?
No, it's
Okay.
quite clear.
Alhamdulillah, I'm very happy that it's clear, because I was worried that you might be confused with last week's lesson. But this week and last week's lessons are the longest types of mad, and we call this type of mad lazim. Mad lazim. So, for example, I think, subhanAllah, I don't know what's the wisdom behind this mad, but sometimes in some ayat of the Quran, it's for strengthening the meaning or emphasizing the meaning. You know? For example, there is an ayat that says, أدخلوا في السلم كافة. Right? I would have to figure that. I want to actually Google it for you right now, with your permission, because I don't want to misquote the Quran. So if you give me just a minute,
Yeah.
I want to find the translation of this ayah of the Quran, because it has a beautiful wisdom behind it, you know. Okay, yeah, I found it. So in Surah chapter 2, ayah number 208. Let me try to open it here for you. Oops. I don't want to show you this, but this card. Whoop. All right, you didn't see it. Yeah, let me just do it this way, inshallah. Bismillah. Yes, if I go to Surah Al-Baqarah, Quran 2. Quran 2. 280-208. Ayah number 208. All right, look at this word. Do you see it in front of you?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So look at the translation. O believers, يا أيها الذين آمنوا ادخلوا في السلم كافة. This is the same type of mad as ولا الضالين. This is مد كلمي, مد لازم كلمي, مد لازم كلمي مثقل, heavy. All right. Wholeheartedly, entirely. So the fact that there is a 6, the longest type of lengthening, it shows how much we should enter Islam entirely, wholeheartedly, with your heart and soul. And the fact that this mad is the longest type of mad in the Quran, emphasizing the meaning of entirely. Enter entirely in Islam, not partly. Don't be a part-time example, right? Enter Islam entirely. So kafah, 6 harakat, not just 2. So the beauty of the Quran is that the mad emphasizes the meaning for you, you know. The lengthening of this word gives you the impression, oh, subhanAllah, this is so long and so intense, I shouldn't enter in Islam, just a little bit. Entirely enter in Islam, okay? Let's listen to the way it's read. I think you can also have the sound.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا ادخلوا في السلم كافة ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين.
Okay, so you got it right. The longest emphasized word here is kafa. And different reciters will have a different lengthening, probably even longer than that. If I go to the settings, maybe if I go to, I don't know if you will change it here or not though. Let's try out the boss tab. Inshallah it works. Sometimes it doesn't work. Okay, let's see. Bismillah. Probably not. Yeah.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا ادخلوا في السلم كافة ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing, or maybe just share this for now. All right. Do you see my PowerPoint here or not yet?
No, still
No.
the Google.
Okay. All right. Well, that's my objective. I don't want to show you. Now I'm going to show you. Wait a bit, because we're coming to the end of the lesson today, and I want to do the Quranic quiz. Do you see it now?
No,
Not yet.
not yet.
Okay, let's go back then. Let's see. Let's do it. Bismillah. Okay, it should work now. Let's do it this way. How about now?
Yeah,
You see any questions, right? Okay.
yes.
All right. So
Yes.
let's go to today's Quranic quiz, because I'm going to skip this already. I showed you. All right. Quranic quiz. Here's my question. Bismillah. If you know, please raise your hand. Huh? No Googling allowed. What is the total number of ayat in the Quran? If you know, you know. So we have 114 chapters, but how many ayat in total?
The figures start with 3.
I'm sorry?
The figure actually start with 3, but don't remember the exact number.
Okay, mashallah. There is a misconception for this question. Many people, sometimes people tend to think of it as 6,000. It's actually more than 6,000. But some people, even if you go on Google and ask people around, they will say 6,666, but it's not correct actually. Is the exact number is 6,236. So the 3 is in the middle, not at the end. 6,000.
Remember 3.
That's good. At least you have a number correct. Just try to kind of bounce it a bit towards the middle. 6,236 ayat. Okay. Just kids love to do numbers and to remember these things. Just I think kids, it's nice to tell them, quiz them sometimes with these numbers. It's nice to know. Okay. All right. So that's all I have for you today, inshallah. I'll make sure to send you a PowerPoint. And please, if there is anything that is not clear, let me know. Let me know. I will try to reply to you.
Sure.
Okay. Jazakum Allah khair. I'll make the dua to wrap up today's session. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. جزاكم الله خير والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. See you next week inshallah.
جزاك الله خيرا كثيرا.